Are you Muslim?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wassalamu alaikum. Are you Muslim?
Did you just wish death upon me?
Not death, poison, bro.
No, you wish poison on me.
Are you Muslim, yes or no?
Wa alik. Wa alik.
Okay, let's have a respectful debate. Yeah.
Okay, I want to teach you about my religion. We have a book called Sahih Yahudi. And in it says, لا تبدأوا المسلمين بالسلام. And when you meet them on the road, force them to the narrow path. This is Sahih Yahudi. So don't greet the Muslims with peace. So don't greet the Muslims with peace. And when you see them on the road, force them to the narrow path. I'm also commanded, if you come to Israel, I'm taking the jizya from you. Wahum sagirun. Until you're fully humiliated. So if you come to Israel, you're going to pay the jizya.
Well, which country are you from?
أنا من إسرائيل الحمد لله.
By the way, which context was this hadith said? Which context?
The context, it's just like a general. Any Muslim,
No,
ever I say a Muslim.
No. No.
Sahih.
Because of
it's Sahih.
No. Sahih. Yes. Just let me teach you something real quick so we don't make the same mistake in the future.
Inshallah.
Any verse in the Quran, any hadith in Sahih that is within the context of the war, it should stay within the context of the war. You can't put the same hadith and apply it to context outside of the war. You can't tell me also in the Quran it says kill the disbelievers, but that does not mean I go and kill you, for example.
فإذا لقيتم الذين كفروا فضرب رقاب. I know, bro. I've read.
Which verse is this, bro? There's no verse say
Surah Muhammad. فإذا لقيتم الذين كفروا فضرب رقاب. The fourth ayah. I'll show you.
Okay, I thought you said something. I thought you said فقطع. Yeah, but this is I know. I thought he said something else. But this verse is within a context of war, so it stays within this context. You can't take it out of context. You can't apply it to. You get me?
Yeah. So you said that the hadith that I recited was from a time of war. So in Sahih Muslim,
or
you have different books, don't you? And so most of the laws of war are in jihad. There you go. In the book, appropriate. So the book of jihad is where you'd expect to find the hadith that are about war. Yes. But the لا تبدو اليهود ولا النصارى بالسلام is in the book of greetings. So what do we do with that? Yeah. It's not to do with war.
It's a commandment about greetings due to betrayal in war. That's
no, it's nothing to do with betrayal. It's nothing to do with betrayal. You just made that up. Do you have a source for that? Does Tabari say that? Does Ibn Kathir say that? Does Qurtubi say that? Who says this that you're saying? Because you said you were going to educate me, so I'm here for the lesson.
I already did about the context of a war, like so many Christians and Jews.
So I've given you the hadith. It's hadith number 2167a in Sahih Muslim. Tell me the book of greetings.
What is it again? The number
2167. I'll put it in chat. Actually, I'll tell you what. I'll open it up. Give me 2 minutes. Let me just let me share my screen. You should see it in 2 minutes if you look on my screen now.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh
wait, I'm just gonna that's just I just didn't. There you go. Here it is. This one here.
Can you zoom in?
Yeah.
What's the book's name, if you don't mind?
Sahih Muslim and Kitab Salam. It's
okay. Can you go
book? Yeah. Let me just find that for you again. 2167a. There we go. لا تبدأ اليهود ولا النصارى بالسلام. You see it?
Yeah. فإذا لقيتم أحدا فاضطروه إلى. Yeah. I'm not familiar with the context of this hadith, so I can't just make stuff up. Let me just.
It's fascinating, guys, as you're watching this. There's a whole book, because I'm just speaking to my audience, there's a whole book dedicated to greetings, giving salam. And when it talks about the Jews and Christians, the religion of peace says you're not allowed to wish peace on us.
Right now, well, I'm not sure about, but I know damn well that the Talmud says something similar about the non-believers.
No, the Talmud says nothing like this. We'll try. Say Shalom Aleichem to me, and we'll see what I say back.
No, if you say it to me, I can reply with the
You say wa
wa
alaikum
alaikum
is what
salam.
you can. No, you can't say wa alaikum
Yeah,
assalam.
yeah, wa
It's
alaikum.
about,
Yeah,
yeah, wa
that's
alaikum.
okay. So what you told me
So
applied to you. So still.
now say it to me. Say shalom, which is the Hebrew shalom aleichem. Say it to me.
Yeah.
Say shalom aleichem. That's the Hebrew. You're not even saying Arabic.
First, you tell me. You tell me.
Okay, shalom aleichem.
Wa alaikum salam. This one is when you start with a sam. This one is when you start with a sam.
So yeah. So,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't greet you first with assalamu alaikum. That's what I know. But within the context, I'm not educated with the context. So
the
I can't.
Sahih Bukhari. So let me show you Al Bukhari hadith number. Which Bukhari is it? Bukhari.
See, the context was indeed in war. You search it up and see.
Bukhari is not 5133. Let's try Alaikum. This is Bukhari 6030. Aisha said that the Jews came to the Prophet and said, Assalamu alaikum, which is what you're saying, Samu. Aisha said to them, death be upon you, and may Allah curse you and shower his wrath upon you. Muhammad said, be calm, O Aisha. You should be kind and lenient and beware of the harshness and fush. She said, haven't you heard what they have said? He said, haven't you heard what I have said to them? I said to them, and my invocation against them will be accepted, while theirs against me will be rejected. So he said, alaikum. It's not giving the actual alaikum there. So I need to find the alaikum.
Okay, let me tell you what do the scholars of Islam say about the context of the hadith and when was it applicable. So the scholars have suggested
Which
that
scholars?
Al-Qardawi.
So this is recent.
Ibn Taymiyyah, huh?
I like more classical, like Tabari, Ibn Kathir.
Well, I don't care what you like. I don't care what you like.
You don't care what I like? Well, I'm going to the primary sources and you're bringing me modern scholars. I don't care for modern scholars who are trying to make the religion sound nice to Western ears.
No. Some scholars say that, and when scholars differ on a point, you get the right to choose. You get the right to choose. When scholars differ on a point, you get. It was within a war context. And
Who should we trust, Muhammad or the scholars?
That's an invalid question, because the scholars sometimes interpret the hadith or tell people who are ignorant the context of the hadith.
Okay, so Muhammad's saying in black and white, say wa alaikum when the Jews wish you salam. Yes.
Yeah, because you already wish you should salam alaikum. I'll say wa alaikum. So it's the same applies to you. You told me salam. It goes with you. If you tell me sam, because they used to say as well salam alaikum. That's what you guys used to say. So that's why we say wa alaikum. In case if you say this or that. So that's the main idea of it.
Look, bro, truthfully, I prefer your interpretation. I prefer the modern scholars, but that's not what the text says.
You just told me what did the Prophet say, and I told you what did the Prophet, and within which context they said that.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so
why
can't you initiate? Why can't you initiate? Why can't you initiate peace? Why can't what you can say me and you can say yeah.
No, I could see. Let's say generally, I'm not. I could initiate with hello, how are you? It's why do you care if I say salam alaikum to you or no? That does not signify anything. Because back then we used to say, yeah, if Islam is the religion of peace.
Yeah, I want peace.
There has to be a greetings reserved for Islam, for the Muslims. That does not mean that it's not the religion of peace.
That's racism.
How is that racism?
Because you're only wishing peace on a Muslim.
Muslim, first of all, Muslim is not a race. Muslim could be black, white, brown, purple.
Okay,
First of all,
fine.
Muslim.
Bigoted, prejudiced, xenophobic. Call it what you want.
How?
How? Because
Yeah.
imagine if white people had a greeting that they only gave themselves and they refused to give it to people with a darker skin. Imagine if the Jews did that. Imagine if we went around and we wished each other peace, but we refused to initiate peaceful greetings to non-Jews. The world would accuse us of disgusting racism.
That's how you see it. That's how you see it.
So how explain to me why you will see a Muslim, you'll say peace be upon you, and you'll see a Jew and you'll refuse to do that. You'll see a Christian, you'll refuse to wish them peace.
I'll wish them peace. I'll greet them. I'll be peaceful with
No,
them.
you're not wishing them peace.
How how do you say? What do you call a non-believer in Jews?
A non-believer in Judaism is a kafir. We only really have that term for Jews, though. We don't care about non-Jews and what they believe. We'd rather they worship one God, but we don't. In Islam, you have a kafir and you have a believer. In Judaism, you have different nations. We are one of them. We are a goy. You are a goy. It means nation. Whoever's talking to you in the ear is feeding you very bad information.
Okay, listen. We both agree that there is one God. Yeah.
لا أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
What?
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
وأشهد
وأشهد
أنا جاوب.
أن موسى
ها
رسول الله.
موسى وعيسى ونوح. Yes,
موسى
you believe that.
ويعقوب وإبراهيم.
وإبراهيم عيسى
لا مش عيسى. لا.
Yeah, you don't believe in Jesus.
لا.
Why don't you believe in Jesus?
He's not the Messiah as prophesied in the Old Testament, the only testament, the Torah, the Jewish Bible. And he's not the Son of God. So he's not a prophet, and he's not the Messiah, and he's not the Son of God. He's just a Jew with a big following.
He's just a Jew with a big follower. And what about Prophet Muhammad, the last and final messenger of God? What do you think? What do you think
bro.
of him?
He has some nice teachings. He has some not so nice teachings, if I'm being honest.
I'm telling you, the Salamu, Wassam, and all of this was in a context of war.
Bro, that's the tip of the iceberg. That's the tip of the iceberg. That was just how we greeted each other. Don't open the can of worms around the things that aren't so savory to a non-Muslim about Muhammad.
Were you born into Judaism, or you chose that?
So I come from a line of rabbis. So I come from Jews. My ancestors are Jews, but I was raised atheist by communist Jews, and then became religious as an adult. I returned to the faith as an adult.
Okay.
And I explored all the faiths. I've read Quran many times. I've read the Seerah.
Okay, what do you think of the Quran?
I've read the Sunnah. Some of the Sunnah anyway. We've just been looking at it. What do I think of Quran? It repeats itself a lot. An awful lot. And really emphasizes the hellfire. Jannah, Jahannam.
Yeah.
Was a very different religion to what we practice. I'd say Islam is a religion of submission and fear. Judaism is a religion of love.
Wait, so love like killing children and bombing hospitals? And
No, love like
mass
loving the
sleep-
Creator. You can try and go there, bro, but it won't go well for you because you've literally colonized most of the known world. You put entire nations to the sword. You took slave girls. In our living memory, there are Muslims taking slave girls. Which they base on the Quran. There were Yazidi girls turning up in Gaza and we liberated them. We liberated a girl that they
How nice
kidnapped.
of you, man.
And yes, how nice of us. How not nice
How
of
nice
you
of
for kidnapping them and taking slaves. Sabaya, ghanima. So as I'm saying, you don't want to play the game of comparing atrocities because you will lose. You will lose. There are hundreds of thousands of Muslims slaughtered every year by Muslims.
Can I ask you a
Muslims.
question? No, okay, we're gonna get that.
God
Just one
willing.
question. Why is it so hard to convert to Judaism if it's the religion of loving the Creator and the religion of peace? And
Because
why is it so hard?
the creator is all loving, and you don't need to be Jewish to go to Jannah. And it's easy to get to Jannah as a non-Jew, as a goy, the word you were looking for. It's very difficult to get to Jannah as a Jew because there are many more laws. It governs how I wash, how I tie my shoelaces, how I pray, what I eat. Islam is like riding a bike with stabilizers. Judaism is like riding a Ducati motorbike with
Wait,
your
so
eyes blind.
As a
It's far
Muslim,
more difficult.
according to you, as a Muslim, can I go to Jannah?
Inshallah, yes. Allahu alam. God knows, but yes.
You
Our
think?
religion teaches yes, yeah. Provided you live a moral life, you do righteous deeds. Basically, we believe there's 7 foundational laws that humanity needs to adhere to, and that's considered righteous. Don't murder. Don't have immoral relationships. Don't rip a leg off a kitten and eat it. That's haram, Habibi.
Oh, I was not even
And
thinking of doing that, but
yeah, good. So it's much easier to get the Jannah. You just need
good, good.
to not eat living animals, not
Wait,
murder,
okay, I have a question.
establish courts.
So,
Yeah,
uh,
worship the Creator.
yeah, we know that there's 3 things that they don't care who you are, what you do, what you think, what you believe. Yeah, they're gonna keep going on. Whatever you think, yeah, doesn't mean what you think does not matter. Yes, 3 things. The first thing is time. It's gonna keep going, no matter what you do, no matter what you think, no matter what you try to do. Second thing is death. Death is gonna come no matter what you do, where you go, what you do. And the third thing that is not gonna change, and no matter what we do, is the truth. The truth will never change. It does not care what you do, who you are, what you believe. It's gonna be one. Do we agree on that? We agree that the
Yes.
truth will be one.
Yeah.
We agree that the truth will be one. Yeah. So now we can come to the conclusion. We exclude Hinduism, Buddha. We exclude all these religions. It's the main Ahlul Kitab, Christianity, Muslim, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. These 3. We know that most likely the truth is one of 3. Oh, we remove Christianity. It's between
No.
us and Jesus.
That's not true. That's not true. We all agree that Judaism was the truth at some point. So we believe that Musa received revelation in
Yes,
Sinai.
okay. I agree
So
with you.
all of us
Yeah.
agree with that. Christians believe that. The
Yes.
Jews believe that. Now the
And the Muslims
Christians
believe that.
believe the book's been preserved. The Jews believe the book's been preserved. And then the illiterate camel herdsman from Arabia said the book's been corrupted. So who are you going to trust? The scholars of the Middle East, the Jews and the Christians, or the illiterate goat herders from the Hijaz who couldn't read
Yes.
or write?
That's the point. That's the whole point. He couldn't read and write, and yet he came up with this miracle linguistical book with scientific evidence that were discovered nowadays. He managed to preserve it, and he couldn't read and write. That by itself is a miracle from God. If you, Subhanallah.
Wasn't he worried that he was
How
possessed by
okay?
Shaitan? Can I ask a question? Didn't he think that he'd received revelation from Shaitan at some point, and he was very worried? And Khadija said to him, do you remember this? That he was worried?
Yeah, that was debunked. I remember this, but I'm not got knowledge to it, so I can't talk about it. But that was debunked. I remember that. I know that he was scared when he saw the angel.
Yeah.
Gabriel, but he did not think that was Satan. And second
So
of all, you know that in
how do you
Sahih
know it wasn't from
al-Bukhari,
Shaitan?
huh?
Okay, sorry, go on.
Well,
What were you going to say about
yeah,
Sahih
keep going.
al-Bukhari?
Yeah.
I was just going to say, how do you know it wasn't Shaitan?
Because why would the shaitan want good for mankind? Why would they want them to pray? Why
Do,
would the shaitan want the humans to acknowledge one creator?
do you
Why
think
would they want that?
do you think Islam has brought the ummah good?
Yeah,
Like you look
of
around
course.
the world today, the most
You're gonna tell me that in Yemen there is war, and if we
the
go back in
most
the golden
I
Islamic
can't
age,
I can't think of a nation that hasn't been afflicted by more warfare than the Muslims.
why? Because of the Christians and the
No, you
Muhammad.
invaded
Yes.
Christian lands.
No, no, we're talking
You
about
went to
recent. Are we talking?
France, Spain, and in
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the
We're
modern
talking.
wars, and all the it's not Christians that are killing you. People will say like, "There's a million dead people in Iraq because of America." No, there's a million dead in the Iraq War because Shia and Sunni sectarian violence have slaughtered each other in the absence of a strong dictator like Saddam Hussein. But it's Shia and Sunni that are killing each other in Iraq. Shia and Sunni that are killing each other in Iraq, Iran. Shia and Sunni that are killing each other in Syria.
Shia, some Shias are not Muslim, by the way.
We're just slipping into that now. You're going to start calling them the Rafida and the curses of
No, no, no.
Aisha. And
Not even that, bro. They call upon other than Allah. That's the main reason. They call upon Ali. They call upon Hussein. They call upon, and they don't even. They never mention God when it.
I mean, they do mention God. I debate lots of
I know,
shit.
yeah, but
They have some crazy
yeah, no, no,
beliefs.
no, no. Some Shias are Muslim. Yeah, I agree on that. But some as well. These are those who curse the Prophet and
But
his
what I'm saying is,
wives.
would a religion from God be afflicted by so much violence?
I, why wouldn't be? And like? Look what's happening in Israel now. I'm not gonna use that against you because yes, it could. Because at the end of the day, this dunya is a test from God. It could be afflicted with violence. It could be afflicted with war. It could be
But
afflicted with hunger.
I think Israel's a good point. Israel's a good point. We have been attacked multiple times, and every single time by Muslims. All of our enemies have the name of Allah in them, or Islam, Islamic Jihad, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Islamic Resistance. It's all
All of these,
Islam, Islam,
like
Islam.
the Houthis, the Hezbollah, all of them, I disagree with them and I don't like them. And they, before even causing corruption outside, they cause corruption within the
I
country
agree. I
itself.
agree.
So I agree. I agree in this point, and these are
I'll
not
give
the
you
point
my
to debate
honest
now.
take. I'll give you my honest take, bro. I believe that Islam is a religion that can be taken to Jahannam or Jannah, and you can ride it to either of those destinations. So you can do Daesh, and you can base everything. Almost everything Daesh do is based on the Sunnah, whether it's taking slaves, how they kill
They're
people.
taking it out
But
of
the,
context. There is ignorance within the.
what I was going to say is
No, 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 no.
they've
They are.
taken the tradition
Yes,
to an evil place. We agree they've taken it
exactly.
to evil,
Yes,
and then you have a woman
they do
who
bad
runs an
stuff
orphanage. You have a
that
woman who
are not
owns it.
represent. Yeah, yeah,
You'll
sorry,
have a
keep going.
woman who runs an orphanage in India, a Muslim woman, and she looks after all children. She doesn't even care if they're Muslim. She looks after the widow and the poor, and she bases this on the Sunnah as well. So Islam can be rode to Jannah, like the woman who's running an orphanage, or it can be ridden to Jahannam, like Daesh, like Hamas, like these Kleb min Jahannam. And Israel, we've been very, 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 very good at repatriating these Klab back to Jahannam. Alhamdulillah. We've taken Khamenei, Sinwar, Nasrallah, all of these
Children,
dogs.
women, hospitals.
Now, we vaccinate 1 million children in the middle of war. We empty entire cities, unheard of in the Muslim world. We provided
Didn't you
our
tell the
enemies with
Palestinians
2
to
billion.
go to the refugee camps in the West Bank to be safe there because there's no bombings there?
There's
Because
no
there
such
is no
thing as a
Hamas there.
refugee in the camp in the
No,
West
no, no, no.
Bank.
Didn't you? Let me finish. You told
Okay.
the Palestinians to go to the West Bank because there it's a safe place. No Hamas is there. No Hamas hiding under the restaurant. No Hamas hiding under hospitals. And yet you bombed them with missiles and you bombed them with
Are you
airstrike.
are you sure of what you're saying? I think you're getting
I,
confused.
I think I'm sure of what I'm saying. Yes,
Okay, so
I've
no,
read it
you're
3
conflating the
times and I heard it.
West Bank, which is to the
Now
east
you're gonna
of
say it's
Israel.
under the control under
No,
Israel. I
no,
know
no,
that.
no,
I know
no.
that.
With Al Mawasi, which is the west coast of Gaza. They're 2 different places. So Israel evacuated Gazans to a place called Al Mawasi or to Gaza City. So when they emptied Rafah, they went to Al Mawasi. There was no passage through Israel into the West Bank, Judea and Samaria, of any Gazans. So you're mistaken. And Israel,
I could be, but I knew that they
yeah.
bombed the West Bank. I know that.
And so it's a great example. So have you heard of Mohammed Deif? He's one of the militant leaders of Hamas. We killed him, their top guy, or the second in command, in al-Mawasi, the safer zone. It should be called a safer zone, because if we're attacked from there, or if a hostage is taken there, or if a leader is hiding there, we will still hit it. But we don't hit the civilians, which are our hardest to minimize civilian
What
casualties.
Hamas did was cruel and bad. Okay,
Yes, I agree.
let's talk before Hamas incident. Since you
Yes.
entered, since the Nakba, there has been
No,
killing of
don't start at the Nakba. Why start at the Nakba? Why start in 48? In 1929, you massacred the entire community of Hebron. In 1921, the Nabi Musa massacre, which started in Jerusalem under Hajj Min al-Husseini. They ran through the streets saying, Khayba, Khayba, Ya Yahud, Yash Muhammad, Safa Yahud, and they slaughtered the Jews in the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, before one Palestinian had been displaced. And you call it the Nakba. It was coined by a Arab, what was the guy's name? I've forgotten the name of the intellectual who coined the term Nakba. The Nakba was because the Arabs got humiliated. They claimed they were going to pave the roads from Damascus to Jerusalem, Al-Quds, with the skulls of Jews. And they failed, and that was the Nakba. They didn't genocide the Jews. They didn't drive them into the sea. There was no displacement of any Palestinians until the Palestinians launched a war in 47, a civil war. They began.
Why did they do that?
Because they didn't work, because the United Nations voted to recognize a partition of the land. And the Arabs responded by attacking the Jews. And that's when Arabs
if you were
began
living
to...
safely and Britain came and invited some Arabs, dirty Arabs to your country?
That's exactly, I mean, they weren't dirty Arabs, but that's exactly what happened. Britain locked the door of my country, Israel, to Jews, and invited thousands and thousands and thousands of Arabs in.
It was not your country. It was, if it was, it was maybe it was
You
your
said
land
you were a
3,000
Muslim.
years ago.
You said you were a Muslim.
Yeah, are you gonna tell me now Bani Israel in the Quran?
يا قوم يدخلوا الأرض المقدسة التي كتب الله
Yeah,
لكم.
that's
Yes.
talking. First of all, the verse is talking about 3,000 years ago, and whenever.
What does kataba mean? What does kataba mean? What does Baghawi say on it? What does Tabari say on it? What does have you even read the tafsir on this verse?
No, I don't read the tafsir of the Tabari and the.
So the
Tabari, no.
tafsir
I only
of
read
the
the
verse.
tafsir when I need it, yeah, when it's clear. And
Yeah. So okay. So tell me, Sheikh, what does this verse mean? O my people, enter the holy land, that I have kataba, written, assigned, given, kataba, lakum, alati kataba Allahu lakum, to you, that Allah has given, written to you. What does this verse mean?
I don't. I'm not a mufassir.
So it's not clear. It's not clear for you. So Tabari can make it clear. Tabari can make it clear. He calls it Allah what's the word? Preserved tablet. It's a preserved tablet. Kataba means preserved tablet, which is what the Quran is described as. Yes? The Quran is described as a preserved tablet. And this is the exact phrasing that Tabari uses to describe the land. He says it was given to Bani Israel. And if anyone says it was just for those Jews in that moment, then they don't understand the Quran. This is Tabari, and he's bringing hadith.
I can't agree or disagree. No. Maybe you're telling me stuff from.
Just read.
What's the verse?
Go to Tabari.
What's the verse?
Al-Ma'idah 21. Let's read it together. Let's read it. I'll pull up Tabari now.
I have it here. Tafsir al-Tabari and al-Qurtubi. I don't know which one. And Ibn Kathir.
No, Tabari. Ibn Kathir talks about kings and nonsense. Qurtubi's okay, but Tabari's best on this. And Tabari's first. Tabari's the first. He's the oldest, the closest to the Sahaba. So the most authentic.
And al-Qurtubi as well is authentic.
I know Qurtubi's good, but Tabari's better. But Qurtubi agrees. It's fine.
Okay, so Holy Land is the land of Jerusalem and surrounding the blessed area, written for you. It's been decreed for you for inheritance and conquest, but conditional on obedience. So it was a test of obedience.
Perfect on obedience, yeah. That we only stay in the land, and that's why we lose it twice. historically, because we didn't follow that Allah. There's no argument there. But the land is us, but it's conditional that we submit to Allah when we're in the land.
Yeah.
That's the
And fear and
condition.
disobedience led to the loss of divine promise. That's
I
Tabari,
agree,
Qurtubi.
100,
Okay, you agree then.
100% agree.
So it's still not, it ain't your land no more. Yeah.
No, go to Al-Isra, where it says there'll be corruption twice in the land and we'll lose it. The first time was what we call the Babylonian exile. The second time was the Rome exile, which began 2,000 years ago. And so the Quran is just confirming what my books already say, which is what the Quran says. It affirms.
There is some similarities within the Quran and the Torah, and I agree with that, but it does not mean Torah is.
But what we're talking about is you said that we stole the land. And that Allah, we're the only people in the Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a land to. And these munafiqeen, the Muslims today, the munafiqeen, they claim that this is Muslim, that this is Bani Palestine. There isn't even a Bani Palestine. Astaghfirullah.
You know what is Bani Israel?
Yes, I know Bani Israel. Yes.
It's the
Who's
name of,
who's Israel?
So if there is no Bani Musa, if there was Bani Musa,
Don't be a jahil. You've been very good. You've been very smart. Think about what you're about to say before you say it, because I want you to continue being smart. Musa belonged to Bani Israel. Yeah, Musa's father wasn't Yaqub alayhi salam.
No, I know that.
Okay, good.
Because I'm saying Bani Israel does not equally mean a state for Israel. Or
Oh no, it's describing the people. It's describing the people, the children,
that's
descendants,
what I mean.
descendants of Yaqub.
Musa is mentioned so many times that does not mean there is a state of Musa. That's what I mean.
Do you know the Constitution of Medina, where it mentions different tribes? It mentions Bani Harith, which is under the protection of Muhammad, a Jewish tribe. That family is still in Israel today. Like the Jews from the time of Muhammad, their descendants from the Hijaz, are still in Israel after Umar ibn al-Khattab kicked them out.
You were telling me that the Tabari is the first and everything, yeah?
No, Tabari is one of the best tafsir because he's the earliest. Ibn Kathir is like 600 years later.
Tabari was mentioning the giants that you failed due to
Yeah, we're afraid of. Yes, yeah. Keep reading. He's gonna whatever you're about to say, he's going to correct you towards the end of the tafsir. So read it first before you open your mouth, because he's then going to say that it's not just talking about those specific people, and if anybody says that, they're making a mistake. It's talking about all of Bani Israel.
Yeah, I know that. بس شو اسمه.
This is my thing.
Why can't you eat cheese with meat? Yeah.
That's very easy. In the Torah, so the Torah is a guidance for you.
That is haram is for a reason, but cheese and meat, what's the reason?
Okay, first I'll answer that, and once I've answered, I want you to tell me why you drink camel urine and camel milk together, because that's worse than milk and meat. No, there's a Sahih hadith from Muhammad that you should do that in certain circumstances.
Yeah, certain circumstances. Yeah,
medicinal benefit. Now, today. The World Health Organization had to put a warning telling Muslims to stop drinking camel wee. But I'll answer your question. So in the Torah, it says you can't cook a baby goat, in its mother's milk. And the rabbis extrapolated from that you can't cook meat with any milk. And if you can't cook meat with milk, obviously you can't eat meat and milk together. That's haram. From a Jewish perspective. Now, why was the question? Everything should make sense. And Rambam, the Gadol, one of the greatest rabbis of all time, he writes that I don't have any evidence for this, but because it always follows a festival, a Jewish festival, and then it says don't cook a baby goat in its mother's milk, I suspect that there were mushrikeens, there were pagans, idolaters, that used to do this for religious reasons. They would cook a baby goat in its mother's milk. And the Torah came to outlaw this as a form of idolatry. And we found and discovered that was something that they did in that region, or this region, at that time. And so it came as a guidance to deal with the problem of idolatry, historically, which we preserve to this day. So that's the answer. Now, why do you drink camel wee and camel milk?
That's fine. So many ignorant people. You were telling me that they weren't Muslims. those are the same people who get married to children nowadays as the name of religion. Okay, those same
Yeah,
Muslims could be drinking camel milk, camel
I
urine in
agree with you.
unnecessary situation,
I
and the
agree.
hadith itself. Yeah, okay, and the hadith itself it is well known in Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, as I can
Yeah,
remember, and it was only to a tribe. I forgot the name of the tribe, that they were in that incident that they were advised to drink the camel milk and urine as part of a treatment recommendation in that time,
yeah.
specifically in that time. And
It's
we
medical
know that the prophet,
advice.
yeah, medical advice in that time, in that circumstances. So yes, camel urine right now might not seem as a great idea, and if the scientists and the people warn against it, don't drink it. It's not
Yeah,
in the Quran.
yeah.
It's not a fard, of course.
My only criticism of the Quran is we're allowed to drink alcohol. Alcohol's not haram in Judaism; it's halal.
Yeah, in
And so
Judaism, yeah.
In Islam, camel urine is halal and alcohol is haram. In Judaism, camel urine is haram and alcohol is halal. So we have differences between our religions.
Yeah, yeah, no, but I was talking about the specific
Cheese. I gave you. I
scenario.
explained the milk and meat, and then we went on to the cup because I thought it's only fair if you're taking a pop
Yeah,
of
but
milk and meat that I
you
take
get
a
my
pop
point.
of milk and camel whey. It
Is my
seems a bit
point clear?
worse. No, your point is clear, and I agree with your point. The only thing I would say is, I don't think it was good medical advice back then to drink camel
No, no, no,
urine.
no. Let me tell you something. No, no, no. To you, it might not be. Sometimes
Yeah,
stuff
to
are
me,
not as. To me, yeah, to you, it could be as well to me. But let me tell you something. The Prophet, peace be upon him, in the Quran, it says that وَمَا يَنطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. He never talks out of his own will. Anything that he says is revelation from God, whether it was the Quran or advice, medical advice. So in that time, in that moment, in that incident, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him that in this moment, yeah, it might not seem as clear to us, maybe even to him, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala advised him that for the tribe, camel urine would be the solution and the situation. Yes, to me even, in that situation, yes, you people nowadays take it for nothing. This I disagree. This doesn't make, but that does not mean anything. So in some parts, people needs to educate themselves. They take parts of hadith here and there. Al-Bukhari has 2,500 hadith. Not all of them you
yeah,
can do it like now. That does not. You gotta like educate yourself to some extent. Not you, like people
yeah.
generally.
No, I agree.
Can I ask you a
Look,
question?
bro. Yes, you can. Yeah,
Yeah, you get my point. It's clear.
yeah. Your point is clear.
Yeah,
Yes.
perfect, perfect. Okay, I just got one question that I was discussing earlier with a fellow Jew about Aisha radiallahu anha wa ardaha. What do you think about this? And I'll then explain to you. Tell me first your stance, and then I'll
Okay. You really want to go? It's like
go ahead.
the script writes itself. I try not to bring up the problematic.
No,
I think.
I respect that. No, I
So
want to hear it because I want to clear
okay.
doubts, bro.
Okay, so in Sahih Bukhari, Aisha herself narrates in Hadith number 5133 and 5134 that she was 6 years old when they got married and nine
Yeah.
years old when they consummated the marriage. Consummated means had intercourse. Now, I don't believe that is the case. I think that is grape. I think that's for a man in his 50s to have a physical relationship with a girl of 9 years old is
Yeah, okay,
an
okay.
arrestable offence in almost every nation I can think of, for good reason. But I wasn't going to bring this up. You brought this up.
No, no, keep going. Okay. So,
Okay.
okay. That's it.
Yeah. I think it's bad.
Okay. Now, but did you know that 200, I'm not even, let's not go 1,400 years ago. Let's just go 200 years ago in America, Delaware. Did you know that the age of conception,
Stop.
of marriage
Stop.
was seven?
Stop. Stop. Stop.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to do your
Yeah, I'm just,
argument better. I'm going to do your argument better for you. In the last
tell me.
10 years, 11-year-olds have been
Yeah,
married in
you know that I
America.
was gonna get, no, I was going
Yeah.
extreme because, yes,
You're
in
going to
Spain
get
and,
well,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
going,
Yeah.
I know that
America
in some
still has
countries,
the
yeah, yeah, 15 years ago, it's 11 or 12. I know that. I was just going chronological order. يعني.
and so that's
First of all, it said,
disgusting. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
okay.
disgusting.
Nowadays, yeah, Did you know that back then, not even 1,400 years, just 300, 400 years ago, before we got the AC, before we got this comfortable life, the life expectancy was in the desert specifically was way less. So people used to tend to hit puberty, hit maturity way earlier than we think. Now, just another argument, just a side argument real quick. Did you know that 200, 400 years ago, 14, 15-year-old boys used to lead wars? Now a 20-year-old man, I wouldn't trust him to lead my dog on a leash, for example. So look at the difference. Look at just the first look. Let's look at the boys. 15-year-old boys used to lead a whole army, used to lead a whole war, used to conquer countries. 15-year-old. Can you imagine it? Can you imagine a 15-year-old nowadays do that? It's beyond what we think. It might seem so. The same thing applies. We cannot compare the cultural norms 1,400 years ago with the cultural norms now. Yes, now it's disgusting. A 9-year-old girl now, when you see her, or not even 9, let's go 12, 13. She's still a child. Like she could be physically mature, like physically ready, but mental maturity still. Nowadays, I would argue that they hit it after 18. It's so hard to like.
So
Back then, they yeah.
centuries before the Quran, centuries before, many centuries before Muhammad married Aisha at 6 years old, the Mishnah says that the ideal age to get married is 18 years old. It says the minimum age to get married is when a girl is called a na'ara, which is you have a katana, which is a child, and na'ara is like an adolescent. And it says there needs to be physical and mental signs of maturity, just like in Islam. But it says the minimum age is 12 years old plus. So she's 19 and still not physically mature, you can't marry her. If she's 9 and physically mature, you can't marry her. She has to be minimum 12 with physical and mental, according to the Talmud. And so this the reason I'm saying this is not to say, look how great Judaism, because 12 is still too young. Modern rabbis have ruled that 18 is the age.
So yeah,
and
so
when
they keep changing it. So
no, but there's a reason for that. But we have greater protections for children than ever before in our history. That's why. But the reason I'm saying this is if it was because in the olden days a 9-year-old girl was ready or could be ready for marriage, then Judaism wouldn't have said the ideal age was 18. It wouldn't have said the minimum is 18.
yeah, but
12 plus all
they
these
just
other
changed it now.
conditions.
You just told me they changed it now based on the culture.
Yeah,
What,
but
what we
no,
see
I'm
now
so I'm. You're
is
missing what I'm saying.
yeah.
What I'm saying is that it couldn't be that 9-year-olds were ready. Otherwise, the Mishnah would have said the ideal age to get married is 9 years old. In fact, Sunan Abu Dawud even says, this is where the hadith contradict Bukhari even. And the Bukhari contradicts Bukhari because the reason for why Aisha is supposed to be getting married in the first place is because Khadija's just died and his auntie says to him that you need to find a wife to console you because you're grieving over your dead wife. You need a new wife. And if you're looking for comfort, you're not going to get it from a 6-year-old child, even if her father is Abu Bakr. So the Bukhari contradicts Bukhari. So ignoring the contradictions in Bukhari, Sunan Abu Dawud says, when a brother and sister are aged 10 years old, because back then their children would often sleep naked in the same bed, separate the beds. A 10-year-old girl should not be sleeping with a 10-year-old boy. So that's saying 9 years is still a child, even by the Islamic standard back then. And so Aisha herself is playing with dolls in Bukhari, playing with dolls with her friends when the Prophet would come in and her friends would hide. And so I'm saying the best thing a Muslim can do, and if I was a Muslim, which I'm not, alhamdulillah, so I don't have this problem. If I was Muslim, I would look at all the other hadith that contradict this one and say there is a big question over the age of Aisha being 6 and 9. I wouldn't try and defend that. I wouldn't make up theories about biology being different or people maturing faster because the evidence is the opposite. The bodies matured slower back then because the nutritional diet was worse. And you're right, they did have a lower life expectancy, but that had nothing to do with maturity. And responsibility is not the same as maturity. But anyway, that's how I would respond to it. But I'd say I wasn't going to bring up Aisha because everybody does that, and it's not. It's an easy win in terms of a conversation, and because it's indefensible, which is why you try your hardest not to defend it and say that you don't think that should happen. And you don't think that should happen because it's immoral. It's immoral for a 50-year-old man to marry a 6-year-old child.
Yeah, nowadays, yeah, I agree with you, of course. But
And
I just give you an
and
example.
unless you throw out that hadith, you have to say back then it was okay, and it wasn't okay. Not for the perfect example for humanity, for all time.
Did you know that
It's-
the Prophet had so many enemies, called them all type of names, a magician, a sorcerer, a madman, but yet no one condemned him for the act he did. No one said
Do,
that.
do, you want to
married
know
a
why they
child."
didn't? Do you want to know why they didn't condemn him? Because those very same people would sacrifice their own children. They're hardly moral people. They're like, oh look, the pagans aren't insulting him for marrying a child. They're probably looking at him thinking, what's this madman doing marrying a child when he could sacrifice her? That's what his enemies are thinking.
What, brother?
Anyway, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us both to the straight path, inshallah. And may you open your eyes to the Quran being a Sahihuni.
May Allah, bro. It was nice talking to you, man.
And Jazakallah, I appreciate you, brother. You're calm, collected. It's clearly not your first rodeo. I don't know if you're on Discord or TikTok or wherever you are. But Jazakallah, brother. I've enjoyed talking. It's been an education. You've shared things with me I didn't know before. So thank you.
Yeah, man.